am vengeance. I am the night. I am...
Drawing Batman for actually the first time to be recorded, but I've drawn him a million times. So right now, first off, welcome to my speed drawing. You already know why you're here. So today I'm working on Batman. I'm going to actually paint this guy. I'm not really focusing on pencils too much. I'm just, pencils is going to start, and then I'm going to paint for the rest of the day. But first, I'm going to stop so you can like and subscribe so you can see more of my stuff. All right, there you go. So right now I'm speeding through the drawing process. I actually recorded the first portion of this drawing, and my computer has been giving me a lot of grief lately. Like a lot of grief. I do not like the attitude. So I'm actually just going back over what I've already sketched out and, just solidifying it. So, adding a little bit of shadow. And again, I'm speeding through it because I'm pretty sure if you've seen me draw before, and I'm really just pressed to get to the painting part. This process, and then this happened. So what you're witnessing right now is actually me, can I say? Photoshop decided to give me the biggest headache right now. Okay, luckily I was actually recording myself while I was drawing because it shut down mid-drawing, didn't save much, but luckily I was able to screen cap from what I recorded. So this is actually you just witnessing me, you know, save a car fire, save a dumpster fire. Because I definitely did not want to start this over. I did not want to start this over. So yeah, that's just me, trying to save my ass. So going back to it, sketching this out. Today I'm going to paint this. I'm going to make it nice and painterly and yada yada yada. And yeah, I would love to talk about the Batman movie coming out because I've heard a lot of people talking crap about Robert Pattinson. Now, I would like to say that although I was not a fan of Twilight, I don't feel like too many heterosexual guys would consider that they were fans of Twilight. Edward or Robert Pattinson wasn't the issue with Twilight, to be honest. It was more so what's that girl's name? Her. It was her issue. Her acting was let's say subpar. Okay, so that was a good factor when it came to just me not wanting to watch it. Just her just with these dry, dull, flat emotions, just like I didn't care about any of the characters. But anyways, Batman. I'm actually excited about the new Batman movie. Well, it's called The Batman. I'm actually really excited about it. A lot of people gave Robert Pattinson a lot of crap about it. Saying that he's not the right build and he's not this, he's not that, whatever. But do y'all fail to realize we had George Clooney as Batman? Like he's like everyone's granddad. Why are we even giving Robert Pattinson any grief if we sat through George Clooney's Batman and Val Kilmer's Batman? I don't understand the issue. Like we've seen worse. Oh yeah, we've seen possibly worse. So I can't really give Robert Pattinson too much grief off of this because, I think it's a matter of performance. I've seen him in Harry Potter, and I think he did really good in Harry Potter. I've seen him in a couple of other movies. I can't really name them off the top of my head, but I don't think it's a bad thing for him to take this role. Based off of the trailer, it seems like they're actually having some fun with the movie. So I actually don't want to discourage them this time. I've seen DC Comics drop the ball countless times. So I'm trying to avoid being too hopeful because I've had that before and got my heart broken. So that being said, I don't want to do that much, but I do want to say that I'm not going to dismiss it as of right now. I do have some type of hope for this movie.
Down the bridges, drain all the rivers, burn down the town hall. There are no winners. Reload the weapons, sharpen the scissors, cut off the fetters, pull all the triggers.
All right, so I know y'all are like, finally the good stuff. I'm now working on the painting part. I added a dark purple base, or not a dark purple. I would say a purple base, and I'm gonna add from there. So I have one layer that's my highlights, and I have another layer that's my shadows, and I also have my blacks layer. This is my first time using black as a shading mechanism in a while. I tend to avoid doing that because I learned back in high school that blacks tend to flatten the image. Now, in this case, considering that he's supposed to be standing in complete shadow, is not gonna flatten it too much because we have so many different dark colors that are competing with the black. But I tend to avoid using black as a shading mechanism. I would much rather use purple or blue or something like that because it's a cool color and it doesn't flatten anything out, and as well it doesn't look like the image is being muddied, shall I say. So I add me a nice little backlight this time, and this is my light source. Pretty sure you've seen me mention that before. This would be my light source. So now I have a solid idea of where my lights are coming from and how they should be hitting my character, well, Batman. Now, one of the issues with with doing this, and this is just my issue, shall I say, I get so pressed to get into the painting part of the image, so that there'll be times that I will be working on something. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to clean this up. Oh yeah, I need to fix this up. Oh yeah, I need to do this. Oh yeah, I need to correct this. And it's just me being antsy, me being impatient sometimes. I would much recommend you all take the time and clean up your lines, but in this case I am painting something, so it's gonna it's allowed to have a little bit of roughness to it. I'm gonna make sure I do better next time. So please forgive me. So when it comes to Batman, I grew up on Batman. I mean, I feel like we all have, but I was a huge Batman fan for the longest, and I always admired the movies. My favorite Batman is the Michael Keaton Batman, Batman Returns to be specific, because it kind of it knew what it was, and it just stayed in that lane. And that makes sense. I mean, of course I wasn't thinking like this as a 10-year-old, but I appreciated it because of, just how it was shot. It just kind of felt like a very dark play, shall I say, like a Shakespearean play. You have the tragedy that is Oswald Cobblepot, Penguin. You have him feeling like he's, kind of like he's shunned from society, and he comes out of the sewer to reclaim some type of prestige, which I love. Like that's beautiful. And then the tragedy at the end when Catwoman, I think that was the mayor, when she kills the guy by kissing him with a stun gun in between them. I'm like, look, you can't beat that. That is sick. But it was a really good movie. I haven't seen any solo Batman movies that kind of, at least as far as live action, I haven't seen any Batman movies that legit made me replace Michael Keaton's Batman Returns as my favorite. I really wanted Ben Affleck's Batman to do a lot better. I was skeptical only because I've been skeptical of DC Comics for the past 10 years, because it just seems like they would just rush things to try to get something out just for the sake of throwing it up against the wall. So I would try to be hopeful, but for the most part, it just seems like it's just a lost cause. So when it came to Ben Affleck's Batman, I was like, okay, well, for starters, y'all changed the costume, which y'all haven't done that in a while, to be honest. Like, it's always been just black rubber on black rubber on black rubber. So this was the first time that they actually introduced a gray suit, a gray Batman suit, ever since Adam West's Batman, and that was bold of them. And I can't even say it was bold. It was just good. It was just a good. Bold is like taking a risk, and that wasn't really a risk. It's just something that, it's not like y'all made it up. It already existed. But I'm really glad that they did it. But it was it was at a bad time, and it was in a bad movie. It was, everything else about it was bad. Okay, I like Ben Affleck as Batman, but I don't want him to be a young Batman. Like, regardless what Ben Affleck's actual age is, he gave me, 45, 50-year-old Batman, meaning that he should be retiring soon. So that being said, I don't want him to be out there with a newly introduced Superman and a newly introduced Wonder Woman. Like, it kind of doesn't make sense, especially considering that, he reacted the way that he reacted. He hated, Superman just for the sake of basically existing. And, that whole fight in Batman versus Superman was the dumbest thing in the world, because it was something that both parties could have very easily talked about. Superman is the type of character that will try to talk to you before fighting you. In every instance that they fought, Superman is just like, come on, Bruce, we don't have to do this. And then Bruce is the one that's going to agitate it, if you feel like he needs to. But ultimately, it could have went somewhere different if they actually followed the source material, which they didn't. Okay, you could tell that they just read the they read the cover of a Batman versus Superman comic and just like, all right, that's all I needed, and that was it. That was it. I didn't want to make this a Batman rant, but you know, here we are. So right now I'm just adding flats again. My computer is just working against me. So in a lot of these cases, you'll see me coloring something over because I ended up having to start from, you know, my last saving point. So now I'm just essentially rushing to try to finish because I don't want it to shut down on me again. But I'm making sure I save a lot more often, because sometimes when you get too involved in the image, you end up losing your way. You end up, oh Lord, they're trying to revive the Uganda Knuckles. You end up losing, you end up forgetting to save, and that's where, you know, you ultimately end up sitting in the corner and crying. Which